Hello. Hello, okay. It's still working. There we are. Okay, let's jump straight into this. I am very hopeful today that I'm gonna finish all this level prep nonsense. Okay, so let's just start off. I did work a bit yesterday. I think I got like 2.5 hours or something in. Which is not nothing, right? So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see, where's this? Yeah, okay. It's working. Let's jump back into Unity and see what we've got. Okay, so I might as well just quickly demo what I have currently. You can get an idea what's happening here. Okay, here we go. So, you'll notice a couple of things. Okay, so I moved this stuff over here because it felt like, well, most of the movement, most of the stuff we do when it comes to putting characters into slots and dragging them about happens in this area, right? So it felt better to put it on this side. Alright, so that's the first thing. Well, I mean, it's a small thing, right? I literally had to drag it over there. Then I changed some of the icons and stuff because I got all the stuff my wife made. So you'll notice there's a little lock on everything, and now the levels will look a little bit different. These I don't think look that much better. They obviously start with the lock, but as soon as you actually unlock them, they are not quite. They're not quite as nice yet. So this is obviously the next thing that's gonna get fixed. Okay, but that's just the shop, and the shop is working like it's been working all this time. You can still select the characters. That's not a problem. Now, so here's a couple of things I did. So we can put the characters into the slots like usual. Let's put her over there. Right, and now I thought about it. Okay, we can put this one in the next level slot. One of the things that kind of bothered me was the fact that, it kind of felt unintuitive. If you just looked at this, it wasn't super obvious that there was a drop down over here. I mean, you can see it, and obviously if you've done it once or twice, and if you tutorialize this a little bit, it should help. But there was a real issue where you could just like set the first time block and then go and then start the next level. So I changed the button to do next time block, and not start when you are anywhere else in the time blocks. Okay, but anyway, so now you can see there's a little hourglass. Now we're probably going to change that because it's not super clear, but it's better than that brick wall that I put there. You can't put a character in any of those slots now. Okay, that was actually not working previously. Previously, what happened is the character will still just kind of go there and it'll kind of break everything. But now it doesn't. So we can put all our characters in the places we want them. And I think that the fact that they are closer to this this area makes it a little bit better, in my opinion. And we can do the next time block. Now you'll see, okay, my smithy is occupied, these two are occupied. The rest are free because they have refreshed, right? Okay, now since this is the final time block, you'll notice the start level button became available. Now we can go and play the level. Yeah. Okay, and in the background, this is actually another thing I did yesterday. It's actually now going through the time block. So the timer is running and the characters are moving about inside of the time blocks. You'll see here it moved them a couple of times, and then it finally moved them to the default slot. Right, so if we go in here, you'll see, okay, these two guys spent some time on the observation deck, so they got a couple of levels. This bird spent some time in the smithy, so her damage went up from 8 to 9, which is about right. I think it's 0.1 per second, and each time block is 10 seconds, so she went up 1 damage. He spent some time somewhere as well. I still have this problem with characters starting in a time block. So you'll see the movement speed is 0.19. I think it should be 0.2 exactly. But it's a bit dumb, to be honest with you. I thought I changed this so it works, but okay, I'll have to check again. Hers worked perfectly because she got into the not the movement speed. She only got into the damage side on the second time block, right? The first time block was inside of the observation deck. Okay, but anyway, let's not worry about that too much right now. Stacy did movement speed and health. Yeah, so she did health first, which got it to 19 now. Again, that should be at 20. Okay, I'll have to check out what's happening there. Okay, but now you can see, since in the third, and I fixed this as well, because previously the last time block number 3 for the previous level should be the one that blocks out these ones, right? So these 3 are now on cooldown because they were used in the last time block from the previous level. Okay, but now I can take these birds and put them everywhere I want them. Let's put you in the smithy again. Make you go fight again. It's like, okay, cool. We want to do this again. Maybe the lab and the observation deck. And you know what? Let's just put those 2 on the observation deck. Put you in the smithy. Right now, I'm currently struggling a little bit with deciding how I want all this stuff balanced, right? A balance in terms of required gameplay, if that makes any sense. So the way I feel about it right now is it's kind of a little bit of a pain to put all the characters into those little slots all the time. So I'm not sure if I should... Ooh. Like, I'm not sure if it's simple enough and quick enough that it doesn't really make a difference, or if this is annoying, right? And I'm kind of in a place where it might be annoying, but I'm not quite sure. Give them movement speed. Well, let's actually play with that character a little bit. Like, it's pretty easy to click through this, right? It's not like it's a slow, tedious process, but I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Maybe this is not too much UI finagling. Maybe it's just the right amount, but I'm not sure. My problem is, obviously, I've been doing this for many days, and to me it might feel a little bit annoying by now, but in terms of the actual game it might be completely fine. what I don't want it to feel like is, and this is now probably a game design problem, and I'm definitely not a professional or a experienced game designer. Like imagine you had an item, a piece of armor, or a weapon or whatever that you equip to your character, and it fell off after every battle, and you had to re-equip it every time. You know, it's like you do inventory management when you want to change something. It's not something that should be changed every time, right? So it's not something you are forced to interact with all the time, right? If you have a weapon and you've equipped the weapon, you don't really want to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it, right? It's just fine. Just forget about it. Now, I want characters to interact with the system, but I don't want it to feel like a massive drag, right? I don't want them to feel like it's so annoying that, you know, every time I go to a different time block, all my characters flip and jump out, right? Because that is what they are doing. They are jumping out of the different blocks, and that can be annoying, right? So I want to think of a way to potentially fix that feeling that I get, that annoyance. I think there might be this is now a UI trickiness. I wonder if I'm just thinking about it. So what would be better, right? Is let's say you knew that you needed to, after each use, an item needs to be reset. What would be kind of nice, I think, is if you select a character. Right, I'm just thinking about the way I would like to use this. Okay, so let's say you have the chicken. You select the chicken. What if I click here, right? It places the chicken, but it also allows me to place the chicken a second time, so I don't lose the selection. And instead of losing the selection, I keep the chicken selected, and it kind of gives me, it increments the time block, and it gives me a second selection and a third selection. So you click on the chicken once, I think that'll feel much better. So you click on the chicken once, you're like, okay, I want to do something with the chicken. You can put him there, and that's sorted. Or you can put him in here somewhere. But it's kind of like you are queuing commands. So you like click, 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 and that has, then you can see in one go where the chicken is going to go for each of the 3 time blocks. And then it's okay, so let's do something like this. So let's imagine you have your 3 characters over here, right? Okay, so you're in time block 1. So imagine this type of feeling. So you can still see time blocks that are occupied, that are not available, right? But you take your chicken, you click. Okay, maybe he even stays there. You click and you click. And only after the third click does it register. And then deselects. And then you can do the next chicken, the next bird. And then you can do... And then obviously it'll take you back to time block 1. Everything will be showing... everything that is blocked will show a chicken face, for instance. And then we can go through and click for the next one and the next one. That sounds like UI I wouldn't be too annoyed by. So you can kind of see the 3 time blocks. I must say that sounds like the type of UI I might enjoy having. Okay, we might have to think about that. Okay, let's just put everybody back, and then let's go and... Okay, this is also not something that should be able to happen. Okay, so that's something I didn't even think about. So obviously we can go back in time and change things, but then it overlaid a character. Yeah, that's... So it became unavailable, right? But there was still a character in there, so that could also be an issue. Okay, now my next problem is when playing the game, right? And let's say you stand in the red zone, because that's a double damage zone for enemies, and they quickly come and they beat you to death, as they do. So there's a couple of issues, right? So first of all, you have a dead bird, right? That's a problem, obviously, but you need to put this dead bird in the revive station. So I still want that to happen automatically. And then I kind of want to try. So I'm not quite sure how I want the revive station to work. So first of all, should be automatically just put in the revive station, right? So that's the first thing, no matter what time block it is, right? And obviously she got put in the third time block, because that's the one I had selected up there. And for all the other time blocks, she's still there. Okay, so a couple of things for the revive station. So we're going to have to go work with this. I think the first thing is the revive station should only go on cooldown after the character has been revived. So I think the way the revive station should work is it should check, first of all, when this menu pops up, it should take you to the necessary time block. Right? So let's say the time block is... yeah, whatever it is. It's the second time block, right? We're that many seconds into the level. So it should take you to that. It should show you the time block that we are in, because that's when the character is going to go here. Now, the revive station, I want it to be kind of time block independent, in that when you are kicked from the next level slot into the revive station, right? It's not going to just reset after every time block. It's special. So it keeps you until you respawn. And actually, maybe it even keeps you a little bit after. So here's my thinking. What if, when you die, you get popped in the revive station? Okay? And you're there for some amount of seconds. Right? So let's say 30 seconds. After you've... You see, this is where it gets a little complicated. So after you respawn, what happens to you? So I think what we should have happen is You should stay in the revive station until there's an empty slot in the observation deck. Or maybe you get kicked from the revive station into the default slot. And you wait until there's an available slot in the observation deck. And then you just kind of go sit there. Hey, maybe something like that. I don't know. This is a difficult one because it's a bit awkward. Or we can make the revive station work like your character comes in here and they get revived, obviously, but then they kind of also just stay here and there's a higher healing rate. Okay. As soon as the round ends and they are alive, they get booted from the revive station. And it goes on cooldown. Then, if you want them to continue healing, you have to put them somewhere else. Maybe that's okay. Okay. So let's try and build that next. Then I'll figure out the UI stuff with placing the characters. So I think I'm going to try that next. So when you die, I need to show the time block that we are currently in. And put the character into the revive station automatically. And they can get revived and they will heal, but as soon as the level ends, they get kicked out, and then they can't go back manually. Okay, let's try that. Let's see if we can figure that out. So I think okay, let's think about this. Oh, and also, we want to actually we want to move a character into the next level slot, right? Because that's now our next character. Okay. So let's do a public void. Move. Or let's just add character to revive. Slot. Right, and the idea would be is that we go look for a revive slot, right? Whichever one is available. Okay, so this is a bit of a toughie because I just want to see, is there a way to know which slots are revive slots? I think there is. Basically, I believe the slot knows in what room it's in. Yeah, so the revive station is of type fixed room type revive station. And then the slot 1 and slot 2 knows it's of type revive station. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so add character to revive slot. So first of all, we will get a character, I guess. Level prep UI dot character. Okay. And maybe we do a for each. So we basically want to go to slot character. We want to go look at our slot character. For each slot character, in, now this is where it gets funny. Time block dictionary. Okay. So I'm considering whether or not I want to even have the revive stations inside of the time block dictionary. I could. The only issue, well, I want the revive station to kind of work in their own way. So I want them to work completely differently. You can put a character in there, they will stay there until they've revived, and they will continue for the rest of the round to stay there until they are, well, to heal. right? So it's a little bit of a drawback when your character ends up there because you can't move them immediately. The level needs to end. Okay, but let's think about that. So if we want the time block to exist, this specific slot to exist outside of the time block dictionary, and there might be a good reason for that because of things like this, right? Where all of the stuff that's happening to our time blocks, we will have to build a clause and stuff like that to circumvent. I'm getting a bit warm now. But we'll have to build in a clause, a guard clause or something to circumvent specifically the revive station. Right? If we wanted to work differently. And that could kind of get annoying. So maybe we just remove it. So let's go check. So where do we initialize? Okay, so if we do that, that would mean that we should come here, change all this stuff. There's another way we could potentially do this. That might be, so if we look at this, we have all slots. All slots get added to the dictionary. Right. Now, if I just don't have... So if we go to the all slots, okay, so it's right there, and this is where I create it. And now if I go to the waiting room, I believe... So let's just see what breaks if I do this. So if we go to the revive station, and then over here where do we add? Oh wait, it might be in the slot itself, right? Yeah. So we could put a clause here to not add. So let's do this. So if slot, well, if type. No, I think there's just a type here. Or is it called room type? What is it called? Is it a part of the slot? Room type. Okay, so it's called room type. So we go here, if a room type equals waiting fixed room type dot revive station, return. So we just get out of there. So we still add it to the room slots, but we don't add it to all slots if the type of the room is a revive station. So now it won't be part. Okay, so what this is gonna do, it's not gonna add them to all slots. If they are not added to all slots, that means this count is now obviously reduced by 2, and none of this functionality, none of this time block nonsense will be there, because we're not even going to get that slot, right? Because we go through the all slot list to create our slot characters. So inside our slot character, there will be no reference at all to a revive station slot. Okay, so that's a bit funny, but it might allow us to do something here. So what we can do here instead is, we can, okay, well, first of all, let's just not do anything. And let's see how that breaks the game. So it's obvious it might cause us some problems. Now, you could never interact with those slots anyway where the character is alive. And I kind of like that. So I think I'm going to keep it that way. Okay, let's just clear this out and let's play it. So I had this idea that you should be able to interact with those slots in the way that you could, let's say, exchange the characters. So let's say you have 3 dead characters and you actually want to prioritize the healing of a certain character over another one. You could take them out and put a different one there. But I don't think I like that idea. So I think the way I want to go about it instead would be to okay, let's see, we can still unlock and upgrade them, so that functionality just works. And this is all still fine. Okay, but I think if we go through our stations, you'll see they are completely unavailable to us all the time. Now, even if we let's say select a character, then start a level, and let's just go die immediately and see what happens. Okay, so now I'm dead and I can't put a in here. Okay, so it doesn't actually know what to do in this case. Right, it's a bit confused. Okay, and there's a couple of reasons for that. So first of all, if we go to our level prep UI, we'll notice that clicking a slot with a character, we'll have to do a couple of things. So first of all, is the shop open? No. Do we have a rune selected? No. Is the character equal to null? No. So the character is not equal to null. Well, then we go through and we check, okay, is the slot level 0? No. Is the next level slot? No. Okay, fine. Then we go through this. Okay, yeah. If it's the default slot, so it's not. So it won't actually do any of this. So it tries to do this. But we can see why that's a problem. Did I normally put this in here a little bit higher? I don't remember where I checked for the deadness of a character. Because here I check. Huh. Anyway, yeah, so here I check if the slot takes a dead character, so it does actually. So then it does if add character to slot, it takes the slot and the character, and it does. So it does this. So let's see what actually happens when it goes here. So it says add character to slot. Okay, cool. So old slot, new slot. So it gets all that good stuff. It sets it up. So if current viewed block is greater than 0. Okay, so it does all this stuff, and it shouldn't really. Right? So this is the thing. There shouldn't be a way I don't want you to be able to fiddle with characters from other slots. Move them around when somebody dies. So none of this should actually even happen. It shouldn't try to call this. When you put a character, when a character dies, they go into the death slot. Right? And when you take a character and put them into the next level slot, it doesn't call this either. It does the add character to next level slot for all time blocks instead, right? Which is a different type of functionality. So that's very important. So this is not going to happen, right? Which is good because this isn't working, right? So first of all, the current viewed block, I think it was equal to 3. So it came in here and it's like, okay, cool. For each slot, character, time block, blah, blah, blah. If slot, so it cannot find the slot. So it skips over this. Cannot do this, cannot do this, cannot do this. It returns true, actually. Interesting. So it thinks it worked, but it couldn't have. Interesting. Okay, but that's fine. Okay, so this is why we're here. Let's see if we can't. So add character to revive slot. Now, this is not something I want you to have any control over. It's an emergency, right? The ambulance comes, it picks you up, it throws you into it just puts you in a hospital bed. You didn't have any control. Nobody could affect that. And that's just how it is. Right, so we want to do a 4 each, right? But what we actually want here is a room slot. This would be a... this is called a room slot in. Okay, so what do we want to access here? What do we want to go through? Well, technically, we want to get to our revive station. So where's our revive station? Our revive station over here, right? So we want to ask for the revive station, which fortunately is public. And we want to look into the slots in room, okay? This would be level prep UI dot revive. No. It's waiting room. I don't have a reference to the waiting room. Interesting. Okay, so maybe I don't even want this here. Add character to revive slot. Maybe that's not even something that is done from the side. Maybe I have the revive station figure it out. So let's think about that. So if I put this functionality here in, so I do slots in room, right? So I go through all my slots. I have to basically check if there's an empty slot, right? So basically, it's okay. Okay, so let's think about this. So this guy, if anything comes in here, we're not going to affect them. They are in their own little place. So we kind of have to do a lot of the same type of things we did previously. Right, so we give it a character. We look for an empty slot. So if... Okay, we need to think about how we look for an empty slot. So do these slots have any idea whether or not they are empty or not? So here it says is empty is equal to true. So technically it should know whether or not it is empty or not. Right. So let's just query that. How do we set this to false though? It's like, how do we fill it? How did I do this previously? I think I did it in the character, right? Let's just see. Current slot, add character. So there's an add character in the current slot. Maybe it's in the slot actually. Okay, I see, yeah. So we did that, okay. Okay, but anyway. Okay, let's see. So you died and we put you in here. So we go through the slots inside of the revive station and we say if rooms if room slot dot is empty. Not continue. So we're just checking for an empty slot. So if we find an empty slot, then what we want to do is we want to actually add that character. So we want to do room slot dot add character. Okay, and we give it the character dot icon. Okay, so we do that, and then we do character dot change current slot, and we give it this specific room slot. Now, is this still a way we do it? Do we still do change current slot? I think we do. So let's go to our update function. So this move character, yeah, we still use change current slot, so that is still the good way. Okay, so we can't change. Okay, so we first of all we just add the character to with the icon, and then we change the current slot to room slot. Okay, which is one of the slots inside of our revive station. Okay, now while they are there, the apply room effects will happen, right? And they are kind of outside of the system. This character does not belong to any of the stuff. So the character and this room slot doesn't belong to any of this functionality in here. They are their own things. This whole room works differently. Okay. So that also means, well, it means a couple of things. So, okay, so let's think about this in terms of the cooldown, right? So you will remember, okay, we have this slot dot unavailable time block, available time block, right? So I think we have to essentially make it available upon creating the slot, right? So let's just do slot dot available time block. Right, we just do that. We just run this for every slot so that they don't look funny. Okay, so that just basically means they are available. They are open. They might not be unlocked, but at least they are open there. We don't have that overlay. Okay, now when you add a character, the character needs to be dead, and it will be added automatically. So when does this happen? Well, it essentially happens. So back in the day, I had this function over here, kick character from next level slot, right? And essentially what this was doing is when we showed the UI, we check if update more character stats UI. Okay, for each character. Then we try to kick the character. So actually, let's get rid of all of this and let's see what that means. So if the character.current slot is the next level slot, right? So we check that. Okay. Then we check if the character has died. Then I think we can just simply do waiting room dot. So let's just waiting room dot revive station dot add character to revive slot. So if the character is dead, we add it to the revive slot. So let's see what this does. Slot in. Okay, so we went through it. Slot occupied is false. Well, no, we don't need that because, yeah, the slot should know whether or not it's full or empty. So we don't need any of those. Yep. Okay. Okay, change current slot. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen to a character who is... Okay, so we can... This is essentially what happens to a character when they are not able to move. Right? So that is the case when a character, for instance, let's say your revive station is full, then they have to go to the next place. So, but we could maybe have the revive station try that for them. Because in the revive station, right, we check if a room is empty. If a room is empty, and we could add it, we just return, right? Now, if we went through all this, nothing worked, and we get all the way over here, something seems off here. Okay. So if we got through this whole list and nothing worked, then we kind of want to do character dot default slot add character and so we just move the icon and then we do character change current slot to character dot default slot, right? I think that is essentially what we need to do. I don't think the default slot changing thing has its own anymore. Let's just check quickly. Yeah, it just changes the... Yeah, no, this doesn't do anything. I still need to run this. Okay. Okay. So it'll return if it found an empty slot, and it could put the character in there. So if it finds any empty slot, this is then what we do. Otherwise, we do this. Okay. Now, apply room effects. So this will happen, and we will essentially just I guess we just go through all the characters and all the slots in the room, and we apply our revive effect, right? That's fine. Now, if the character is not dead, we kick them to their default slot. Okay, maybe not. We say the character has respawned, right? That's fine. But, okay, so let's just see. Then we break out. Okay, that's just to break out of the for each loop here. And then what does this do? If the character is still dead, if a character is dead, if slot 1 is empty, we put the character in that slot. So we could replace all of those. So this is essentially if there's a dead character and there's an empty slot. So let's see. We could just do add character to revive slot. Right? We don't have to check because this checks for an empty slot and it tries to add, otherwise it just kicks the character back to the default slot. So we can try that if we find any dead character. Yeah, so we break from this for each if we found the character in a slot, right? So if we found the slot for the specific character, that means it's fine. If we find a dead character that is not in a slot, we try to put it in a slot. but we might not be able to. Maybe this is not the way I want to do this. So maybe I have another function here, right? Public void move. Let's say move hospitalized characters after level end. Right, and this is kind of what I'm thinking here. So I think we go through like this, right? So we go through all our rooms and our slots and stuff. Right? We do all that good stuff, right? And we can check if the character current slot is equal to slot, right? So we find we need another bracket here. Yeah. So we can go through this and we can check if we have a character in any of the slots, right? So we find a character, he's in one of the slots. Okay, that's fine. So we are just doing the shuffling now. Now what we basically want to check for if we find a character, we don't want to try and revive them. We essentially want to do this, right? We want to check if this specific character is not dead. So if they are still in the slot, but they have been revived, right, that obviously means we need to move them. So in that case, where do we move them to? We essentially want to put them into their default slot. So it would be something, it's going to be something similar. So remember, this is after a wave has ended. So our time blocks have been reinitialized, right? So let's think about that. When your time blocks reinitialize, they try, so let's see what happens when that happens, right? So our time blocks reinitialize. It goes through every single slot character and it changes. Okay, let's see. It goes through every character in level prep UI, character list. And then it goes through every single slot character and it basically puts all the characters into their default slots. Okay. That's fine if the character is not dead. So if character dot game object dot get component of character data, right, dot is dead. Continue. Well, that'll work actually. So if we do this and we continue. So if I understand this correct, an if statement, this one-liner will fire only on this line. Right, it's the same as... Actually, I've never tried it. It's the same as this, right? This is the same thing. Right, I believe. I don't actually know, but I'm gonna stick with that. So if the character is dead, if we actually find a dead character, we don't try and put them in we don't try to put them in their default slots. We actually just continue. Okay. I think that's fine. We don't try and move characters around. So we created all the slots. We try to put them in default slots, except for if they are dead. If they are dead, we're not going to try and do that. Okay. Okay, so we just skip that for now. But this is essentially what we kind of want to do if the character is alive. So let's just take this and we go to our... Where did we do this? In the waiting room. So this is move Hospitalized characters after... Okay. So we're already inside the character, so we don't need that for each. Right, so we are inside of that, and we know the character is not dead anymore, so all of this stuff can go away. Alright. Okay. So essentially what we want to do is this. Where we take the character, we go to the slot, the time. Okay, so maybe we make this a function inside of our time block manager that we can call. Yeah, let's maybe make that a function. And the function will be called something like public void add characters to default slot for all time blocks. Not add characters, just add character. And what we take here is a level prep UI dot character. Okay, so let's think about that. So then essentially what we want to do is kind of what we do when we initialize, in a sense. Okay, but we don't want to create the time blocks. We just want to go through the time blocks. So that's fine. So this side stays. And then we don't want to go through each character. Because we get a character. We don't care if it's dead. Maybe we do care if it's dead. So instead of that, we just do a return instead. Right, if the character is actually dead, then we just do a return. Right. Okay, so we've got a couple of extra... Okay, so let's see. If the character is dead, just get out of here. Then actually we have to go through each slot. Okay. Okay, this is now character. So we basically just add character to default slot. So we give it a character. And it goes through, for all time blocks, it goes through every single one of the time blocks, right? It checks all the slot characters, it finds the default slot, and then it just adds the character to that default slot. Right, and after this, we want to update time block visual, I guess, right? And updating the time block visual just updates the current view. All the other views will be updated when we move around. Okay. Okay, so do we have access to that? I don't actually know. The time block, I think my level prep UI, okay, actually doesn't have access to that either. Yeah, I think I initialize it down here. Okay, so we don't do this at all. think. Do we have too many? Yeah, we have too many. Okay. Okay, so let's just go think about it. So the level prep UI could definitely have have access to the time block manager. Yeah, I think I just at show. Yeah, I do that, but I should do time block manager dot inner time blocks. Wait, do I have a reference to the time block manager then? I do. Okay, let's make it a public reference. That way I can access this through other means. Because something like a waiting room does have access to the level prep UI, but not the time block manager. But now it does. Add character to default slot for all time blocks. We just pass in the character. So essentially, okay, this is us just moving stuff around after hospitalization, right? So we grab a character. We check the rooms. If we find a character in a room, okay, and they are not dead, so they have revived, we chuck them. We put them into their default slots, right? Okay, this is at the level end. Okay, and then what we can do is we could also check. Wait. So let's say if we get there, we can just do continue. Continue, right? So we go to the next room slot, but for the same character. That doesn't make too much sense. Okay, but let's think about this. What we want to do if... Okay, so we go through all the room slots and we find the current slots. If the character that we currently have is in fact a dead character, right? So essentially this... Okay, so if the character is actually dead... Oh yeah, actually that's actually very straightforward. So right here, if we have a dead character for some reason, right, which is not impossible. So we go through this for each la 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 la. So this checks if the character is not dead. Okay, so if a character is inside one of the room slots and they are not dead, we move them out. Then we check if that same character is dead. This will obviously just fail because we just figured out that he's not dead. But if he's not in a room and he's dead, then we're going to try and add the character to the revive station. But we have to check if it's empty first. So this is a bit weird. Because they might... Yeah, you know what? We should do this separately, right? So we should first try and boot all the characters. Then we go through this list again, because we might still have to boot a character. We go through all the characters again, and now fortunately this is... it's very quick, right? Okay, so we go through the list again, and we ask this question again. Okay, very straightforward. We just check. Okay, so we go through the list to try and boot all the... to move any character that is alive back to their default slots. Okay, that's fine. Then we go over here and we try and move any character that is dead but currently not in a slot to a empty slot. Okay. Which means we don't need this now, so that's when we move all the characters Okay, so that's fine. Now let's think when is a good time to do this. Okay, so this is now called over there. So if a character is dead, we don't do anything to it anymore here. Otherwise, we do move it to the default slot. So initializing the time blocks might actually already do this for us. This happens every time we show the UI, doesn't it? Okay, so we need to think about that. We don't want this to actually happen every time the UI is shown. We want this to happen when the UI... or do we? So let's say the UI is shown because a character dies, but one of the other characters actually got revived in the meantime, but they were still in the bed. Do we want to move them then? To a default slot? Or do we just want to keep them in the hospital until... Yeah, I think I keep them in the hospital until the level's ended. Now, that might not be good, but let's try it that way at least. Let's just stick with a way. Okay, so let's think about when a level ends. So... okay, so show UI. Okay, so if it's a new wave, we do initializing the time block. Okay, so the time block only gets initialized when we show a new wave. So we can also do waiting room dot revive station dot move hospital characters at level end. So if it's a new wave, that means we want to try and move all our hospitalized characters, right? So they will move around, etc., etc. Okay. There's also another time we try and do this, and that is just kicking characters from the next wave slot. We need to be careful here. Add character to revive slot character. So it's going to try that, but it's going to try that again essentially if that fails. Okay, so it'll try that again because this does try that again. Yeah, if it fails and there is actually a dead character, it'll try it again. Okay. Okay. So now we need to think, when we add a character to revive slot, that's fine. The next thing I want to kind of do is potentially have a slot put on cooldown. Right, so, okay, moving characters, that's fine. So that always happens there. Okay, that's good. So this is where characters are moved. So what we can do is we can totally do slot dot remove character, right? So we could just run that so that we are emptying. So whenever we moved, this is empty. This is the function that empties. So if we put a comment here, this empties the slot, then we try and put characters into an... Now we need to be careful here. So since we remove the character, that's great. The problem is I maybe want those beds to have a cooldown. Or maybe I don't. Maybe hospital beds, since you can't interact with them directly in the same way, maybe they don't have a cooldown. So you can use them immediately after, as soon as they are available, right? It's an emergency. Yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea. Okay, now we need to think about the room effects, right? So normally we just try and do something with respawning the character. So if the character is in the slot, okay, so let's think about this. So if the character is, let's move this one down. Oh, jeez. So let's think about what's happening here. So first we check if the character is in fact dead or not dead. If the character is not dead, that means they are alive, which means, but they are still in the slot for some reason. So I think what we want to do in that situation is actually regen their health. So apply room effects happens every single second, right? Okay. So if they are still in the bed, we want to do .current health plus equals 5. Right, so that's a very quick regen of health, I think. But they are in the hospital, so it makes sense. Okay, so we do this. So if the character is not dead, we do that. And I think we break or we continue. So if we break from the room slots, yeah, that makes sense, because you won't find the same character. Yeah, if the character's slot, actually, yeah. So we can break there and we can break there. Yeah, okay. So we just break out and we go to the next character and then go through the slots again. Yeah, because there won't be that same character won't be in another slot also. Okay, I kind of like that idea. So now this room is not only going to revive you, but if you are alive but you still find yourself in this room, it'll actually heal you. Okay, so then we are adding them to the revive slots. That's good. We're moving them around. That's good. And we do call these functions. Everything is connected. The time block thing is not happening for this one, so it's always available. Might be locked, but it's at least available. We also need to check. Okay, so I think what we also want to do is right here when we click on a slot, right? We might have a selected character not equal to null. What if we just break away if a character is dead? We like, you know what? You can't handle dead characters. The game will handle dead characters for you. Right? Something like if... Well, no, we can't do it there. We need to first check that we have a selected character, so it's not equal to null, and then we basically have to do something like if... So if the slot level is equal to 0, obviously you can't do anything, but if your character is actually dead, you can't do anything either. Okay, so if the selected character dot game object dot get component this is such a character data is dead, right? So just another guard clause. If we are dead, we just return, right? Don't be clicking on dead characters. Yeah, and we can do debug.log. Don't click on dead characters. The EMTs will handle it. Something like that, right? Okay, good. So we got our So we can't click on a dead character. We can select them, but we can't move them. So let's say don't move a dead character. The EMTs will handle it, right? So we can't move them. We could click them, but if we click somewhere else, it just tells you no, right? It just returns. Okay, so that's one thing. But we should also check if the slot level is greater than 0. So I think over here where we try and, not apply room effects. Hey, this guy, how's it going? How are you this Friday afternoon, hey? Pretty good, I would assume. Okay, so let's see. Adding characters always happens in this way, right? So add characters to the Vive slots, always the thing that happens. So we could do and room slot dot level is greater than 0, right? So if we add a character, we need to make sure that, it's in an empty slot and a slot that's actually greater than 0. Okay, and I think that's always what we do. We never add them directly in any other funny way. I hope. We remove them in other funny ways, but we don't add them in other funny ways. Yeah. Nice. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing well. Almost there. I think I've done, yes I did actually so much stuff just now without actually testing anything, so let's see what is gonna break. Okay, so a couple of things that we're gonna have to look for. So our revive station is time block independent now. Okay, so we made it time block independent. So it doesn't care what time block we are in. It's its own thing. Let's just unlock a bunch of buildings here. Okay, I'm gonna unlock one bed. Okay, close. Okay, but this is now time block independent. We also can't put anybody in there, which is good. That's exactly what we want. Okay, let's just put some characters in places. You're gonna be our next level character. Let's do this. Okay, and again. Okay, we're gonna let our Robin die so that we can see what happens with our respawning, right? Okay, so she wasn't. She was kicked, but not placed inside of the revive station. Or maybe she was. I actually don't know. Let's see. Current room default, yeah. So she did die, so the revive spawner did reset, but she's not quite moved to the correct room. Okay, so let's just stop there and see what happened. So, okay, so level prep UI popped up, right? So that is actually good. So that happened. So when it pops up, it goes into all our characters and it says, okay, first of all, try and kick the character. Okay, so kicking the character. If the character.current slot is the next level slot, which it was. Maybe it wasn't actually. Maybe it changed it to the default slot somehow. You know what? We could also just take the next level character because we have that available to us now. So we could actually just do not any of this. So we know this only happened because the next level character died, right? So instead of getting a character, could get rid of that. Get rid of that. We don't need to do this 10 times. So upon showing the UI, we try to do that. So what we can do is if next level character is dead, then we take the next level character, add them to the revive station slot, and then after that next level character we set that equal to null, so there's no more character in the next level. That should be fine because we know the next level character was set when we started the level. Now we just need to make sure okay, it's a bit wonky, I'm not gonna lie. Because the character was kicked to the default station, which is kind of weird. So the icon was changed to default by something. Okay, let's actually go put a couple of... Okay, so right before we return here, let's just say... Oh, okay, wait, let's see. For each room slot in slots in room, if room slot dot is empty and room slot dot level greater than 0, this is the problem. They start as not empty. Yeah. So we should actually do slot 1 dot empty. True. We should always make sure they are empty to start with. That's the problem. So it skipped that. That's exactly what happened. It skipped this and it went to put the character in the default. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's try this again and let's see if it behaves a little bit better. Okay, let's just make... Okay, there's already a null reference exception error. What? Kick character from next level slot. Ugh, okay, it's being dumb now because it showed the UI, so you can't do this. You can either do this if next level character slot. Well, let's just say if it's equal to null. Yeah, if it's equal to null, just return. Don't worry about it. Oh, okay, wait, no, not that's that. If it's null, just get out. Okay, no problems because it wasn't being funny. Okay, let's close the shop. Put her there. Okay, and let's unlock one revive station and a couple of other rooms, I guess. Bunch of yoga studios, apparently. Okay, unlock. Okay, close the shop. So let's put them into their little places. Okay, you guys can all sit there in the observation deck for the last block. Okay, so let's just go and we died and we were kicked into our revive station. Now we can't. Okay, so if we click here, it actually doesn't like us doing that. So null reference exception, select character. Okay, so let's think. Why is this getting called? You have... So it's calling this with a null. So I guess it's selected character is not equal to null. So it's getting to this point. Yeah, okay, so we're clicking on a slot without a character. So we go here. Get character from slot in time block. Okay. That won't work, right? Okay, and it also means we can't view the character. So that's unfortunate. So we either get the character from the slot in the time block, or we kind of have to do this old thing, right? Which we did previously. So let's think about how that would work. So, okay, let's just get rid of all this. What? Okay, so let's see. So we click if the character dot current slot is equal to the slot we just clicked on. Okay, so first of all, okay, let's do and slot dot room type is equal to the revive station. Right, so if we go through to the character list, that's fine, and we find the matching slot, and that slot is actually a revive station. We could actually check this sooner. Yeah, we could check this way sooner. If... Yeah, we don't have to do all this looping. Right, we can do this right here. Okay, so if the slot is a revive station, then we go and we find it and we do selected character with the character. Okay, so we can select the character, that's not a problem. So we select a character, okay, and then we return. Otherwise, we just skip all this stuff. So if we're not clicking on a revive station, we don't worry about any of this nonsense. We just blow past it and we try to select from a slot. Okay, that's fine. Now we have a selected character. So if we click on the slot again, but it sees that the selected character is actually dead, and then it'll just tell me, you know, don't do that. Okay. Okay, so I think that should be working fine now. Okay, just unlock a bunch of stuff again. Oh, okay. I unlocked 2 revive stations. I didn't really want to do that. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, so let's see what happens. So we go stand here and we die quickly. Die super quickly. We get put there. Now we can still click on Joel. If we try to click somewhere else, it just says us. It tells us don't move a dead character. The EMTs will handle it. Okay. There's another bug here. I should have. Okay, come on, man. We do need to do unselect all. Otherwise, we can't select somebody else because now she stays the selected character. Okay, so we do that. The other thing we should actually try and do is okay. So let's do this quickly. So let's suppose our level prep UI shows up, right? So it shows up. So if it's a new wave, we reinitialize that, right? Else, I think we need to figure out. So if it's not a new wave, so there's things we do every time, but I think we need to do time block block manager dot. Okay. So let's go to our time block manager. So we have an init, and I think we should also have a public void show time show current active time block. Right, and the idea would be is if we show this thing, and time has already passed, right? We know that our current block and our current viewed block won't be the same, but I think we want to make them the same. So we want to say that our we want to do current block, current viewed block. We want to equal that to our current block, right? So we set that equal to our current block, right? Then we update our time block visual. Okay, and that will go. Where is that function even? Am I just blind? Is it way down here? So update time block visual, so it goes through all the slots. Current viewed block. Okay, so it also doesn't change. So we also need to change the value on the drop down, right? So something like this. Maybe we just do show time block instead. Yeah, then it will do all of this one. Yeah, we need to do show time block actually. So we need to do something like something like this instead. So it's not going to be update time block. Where the hell did I do this? Oh, current viewed block will be set when we show. Yeah, it's being set to the block number that we supply anyway, so we could just do current block just show us the current block, and the value would be current block plus 1 to string. Okay. So show current active time block. This we do right there. We also want it so that you can't actually move any characters around except for putting them. So all interaction with time blocks or slots will be disabled except for the next level. Okay, but for now, let's just see if we can show it. At least. Okay, that's all fine. Let's give it a run. And take a sip of water. Some water. Has it finished? Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so normally you won't, I mean, yeah, I sit here and I click 20 times every time I start a level. This is not normal, right? You won't have this much money. Anyway, so we take this bird, we put her there, put these two there, put this guy over there. That's next time block. You guys can then go to that section of the gym. You can go to the smithy. You can go to the smithy, and you can go to that section of the gym. Okay, let's start out. Let's go die real quick. Okay, so we are looking at time block 2. Okay, so that's good. We can still click through them. Okay, so she wasn't moved. Interesting. Don't move a dead character. So something went wrong now. Because she's obviously a dead character. We can still select her, but she's dead. She didn't end up in the revive station. How come? Why is she not in the revive station? Okay. So when she died, we got into show UI. Okay, so that happened. We did a kick character from next level. So that happened. If next level character is equal to null, we just return. That shouldn't be the case. So what we can do here is we can just do a debug. Well, okay. So we return. We could do a debug.log right there. We just give the next level character. .character ID maybe. Right, so we just get the character ID. Okay, but anyway, then we go next level character .game object, get component is dead, waiting room, revive station, all that good stuff. Then we set it to null. Okay. I mean, nothing else should have changed. The only thing I changed was this show current active time block. which happens when it's not a new wave, right? So we show the UI, but it's not a new wave. So we did all this stuff, and then we did this. So maybe there's something that overrides it. Show, okay, so show time block. Okay. So he gets the number, right? That's fine. So we change the view, and then we do all this stuff. If okay, I'm not a fan of that actually. Okay, we'll figure that one out. So what actually failed? Because I don't think that changed much. We did do this show. Let's just go show. So we did that, and we just changed the drop-down value to string. Yeah, so we show the current block. And oh wait, okay, wait. So at the end of this show time block, we do update time block visual, where we go through all the characters. If it's not null, we put the icon there. Maybe that's the problem. So we do this obviously after we kick the character. So kicking the character, we add the character to the revive slot, right? That is fine, but I suspect. Okay, so we physically move the icon, or we add the icon there, but as soon as that other update runs, so we also need to kick the character from the slots. Yeah, so we need something like a public void kick remove dead character from all room slots, essentially, right? And then we need to do a for each we basically do this slot character for each, right? Okay. Current viewed block. No, actually, if they die, it's going to be similar to what we do with add character to next level slot for all time blocks, right? So it's more something like this instead. So let's just copy that instead. So we go through all our blocks and through each slot character. Okay. If slot okay, so if we find the next level slot, we change okay, so let's think about this. If we find the next level slot, we make the character equals null. Right? Because dead character from, let's say, next level slot, right? So essentially, this is exactly what's going to happen. We're going to go through all our time blocks, every single slot. We're going to find our next level slots. And then we're going to make the character inside that slot character to null. So the next level slot is still a thing, but the character inside there is null. Then we update. Okay, so we do a remove dead character from this. And this is something we will do up here. Okay, so we'll show the correct time block. Oh yeah, no, I'm completely over the UI stuff, right? I want to kind of move on with something else. Okay, so we show the time block. That's fine. It just does all this stuff. Do we even do this stuff? Ugh. I don't even know. We might want to do a different type of show time block. But maybe we first remove the character, then we update. Maybe that's better. I don't think it'll make a difference, but let's try it that way. So we remove the character, the dead character, from the next level slot. And this will remove it from all the slots, right? So remove the icon. Well, no, we actually don't remove the icon itself, right? We're not moving icons, we're just changing the slots. Then we update it. Okay. Okay, I think this will work. Because what happened previously, I think it didn't remove the character from the next level slot. So obviously it stayed there, but it also didn't quite remove the... And then the icon got reset because of that. Okay, so this should work. Wait, do I call that function anywhere? Yes, I do. I do. This is probably going to break in a different way soon. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to leave everybody in their default slots. Let's just go die. Okay, it still didn't work. Okay, so it doesn't... I can't click this, so it knows there's nothing there. If I click this one, it does in fact select the character. And if I try to move it around... Okay, so it's still just an icon problem. Yeah. So physically, it doesn't detect a character in this block. It does detect a character in this block. Now it detects... Okay, now we have other problems. Okay, why didn't the icon move, though? The icon should have moved. Add character slot. So this does in fact happen, and it does in fact put the character inside of the... Okay, let's see. Add. So this is called there, and it's also called in here kick character. So when we kick the character, yes, it gave us character number 3. So it did that. Okay, if is dead, that is true. Okay, so we do the kicking. We set next level character to null, which is also fine. Why is this thing fighting me? Add character to revive slot. Why are you not doing it? Okay, so what I'm thinking is something else is going wrong. Who else? Okay, so it's got to be something with this new function. So time block value, that's not the one. Remove dead character from next level slot. That worked, right? Because when we tried to click on that character, it broke. Show time block. Maybe that's the one that's weird. So show time block. Okay, you know what? Let's get rid of this one. And this one. Let's just see if all the other things are still working. Because show time block, what does that actually do? So show time block doesn't do much. So it goes through. Okay, so obviously it goes through the characters. If the character is not equal to null. Okay, so this might be the problem. So let's say we view and we see. Oh wait, the character is actually equal to null. Well, the thing is, this shouldn't affect anything. So the reason this shouldn't affect anything, if I remember this correctly, is because my next level block okay, wait. Where do we add a character to our next level block? So let's see. Add. Where's this massive function? Add character to default slot for all time blocks. No. Okay, so we just changed the block around, and then when we update the visual, oh wait, maybe that is the problem. Maybe it's this. So it goes through each of them and it checks in the specific time block for if the slot character is not equal to null, then the slot character dot slot dot add character slot character dot icon. So maybe we should actually do the following at least. So when we remove, we do a remove character from the slot. So we set the null character to null. We do a remove character at least, right? And then when we update the visual, it comes here and it should get to the next level slot. So it goes through all the slots. If it finds a slot that has a not null character, it should. Don't know why this continues here. When it finds a character that has, when it finds a slot with a character in it, right? It'll add the icon, right? And this is something we just need to do to move the icons around, right? I might have to change the way this works entirely, but for now, this is how it works, okay? Oh, jeez. Just thinking about having to change that. Ugh, I can't. Anywho. So, time block visual gets updated. The icon gets moved, right? Now, one of the things is our... So the slot, we don't create a slot character for the revive station, right? So it never loops through the revive station. The revive station does its own thing. Okay. But if we accidentally take that icon and we add it to something else after we try to add it to the revive station, then it will move again. back to wherever it was, and the revive station cannot grab it. So this add character, we need to be very careful. Okay, this is referenced 3 times, so it's in the UI time block manager. So we do it here. Update time block visual. Okay, so that's fine. I did find that one. Okay, then it's done in the waiting room. Room slot dot. Okay, so this is the revive station itself. And then there's this default slot one. So there's not really a lot of things that can move this around. But somehow it doesn't go where I want it to go. Okay, let's just go play again, and because I've forgotten what all my issues are. Let's go find them again. Okay, let's just unlock a couple of nice rooms, a couple of chairs, and gym equipment. Let's put a Stairmaster in the gym. Let's put a nice hospital bed. Look at all my nice couches and stuff. This one's a bit dark. I don't like it so much. You see, I lightened this one as well. Anywho, let's put you on the Stairmaster. You can go on the treadmill. You can go die, and you can do some weightlifting on the bench press. Next, okay, you can then go to the dumbbell section. You can go chill in the couch and the chair. Okay, and then you can go to the smithy. You can go back to the Stairmaster, and you can go to the bench press. Let's go. Okay, so all that works nicely. Okay, she went to the revive station. Now the only problem is we're not looking at the correct time block necessarily, right? It's like we should technically be looking at a different time block right now. Okay, so let's take the chicken out, put him there. So that works, and we can start the level, and we have the chicken now. So thank goodness for that, I guess. We could also just check. Okay, so let's just make sure our ranger is actually healing. Respawn timer 0. Okay. So she's healing. Yeah, look at that. So her respawn timer got reset, and now her health is going up at a very quick rate because she's still in the hospital. Right, and if you go next, she's going to get kicked out of the hospital back into default, and she's alive. Now, I can't put her back into the hospital. Okay, but I can move her about to other places. Okay, that's pretty nice. That is pretty nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so some things are working fine, it seems. Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay, these time blocks are getting a bit annoying. But anyway, start. Go. Like, I want to make it so that the player doesn't feel the same annoyance that I'm currently feeling with this. It is entirely possible that they won't because, you know. Okay. So why did this occur? So character 4 died and ended up not in a hospital bed. So, okay, so the way I understand that, So if I'm understanding this correctly, when we go to the waiting room, so maybe the other character wasn't removed. So moved hospitalized characters after level end, right? So this is kind of where we were. And then, okay, so this empties the slot. So slot.remove character was called, which means the slot should be empty. Okay, we'll see now if this works. Maybe that works. But so slot.remove character was called, but then when we try to do add character to revive slot, why didn't it do it? So obviously the slot should be empty as far as I'm concerned, right? This would have been called. Why is it that everything... Okay, anyway. So this would have been called. It maybe came here. It's like, okay. Is the slot empty? No. But it is, technically, because I made it empty. Right, because I got the room slot here. And then I found the character. I kicked her out because she wasn't dead anymore. And then I made the slot empty again, so it's now available. Then over here we should try to add a new character, but I'm assuming this failed for all slots, and I put the character in its default slot. Now let's see. It should try on the end of the level. It should try this again, and it might see that, okay, wait, we still have an empty slot, so let's try it again. Okay, so I'm gonna continue playing. Let's just select the owl. And let's see if that part actually works. So also, what happened here? So okay, selected character didn't work. So it tried to run select character upon clicking, and I'm sure it clicked. It went here, I suppose. It's like selected characters equal to null. Not is equal to null, so we don't have a character selected. Then it said, okay, did you click on the revive station? If so, check if there's a character and then select that character. Otherwise, we select a character from the time block. But this character doesn't exist in any of the time blocks as far as I'm concerned. Right. He doesn't exist here. Right, so this was 208. Yeah, so he doesn't exist in a time block anymore because he was moved from all the time blocks. Or all the room slots. Which is kind of funny because he's visually in the default slot. He also doesn't exist inside the bed. Right, which is also a bit strange. Like if I click on the bed, he's not there. He's also not in the default slot. So this character currently, his icon seems to be there, but he's actually nowhere. Which is very strange. Right, anyway, let's start the level. Let's see, yeah, so he's not respawning, he's not gaining health. Maybe something changes at the end of the level. We'll see. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that he wasn't put into the hospital timely. Like he's obviously very sick, and now he's in trouble because he wasn't taken care of. Okay, so let's see if anything happens now. It's okay. We get the end of the level, next level. Okay, so still he wasn't placed in the hospital. So there's something broken with the hospital bed, I would guess. Right, we can select these guys. Okay, that's good. This oak is existing somewhere completely different. He's nowhere to be found. We can't get him. Okay. So we need to check why the hell that's happening. But before we go and do that, I'm gonna go to the restroom, get my coffee, and we'll try and fix that problem. Okay, see you in 2 minutes. Wait, no, this is what I want to do. Yes. I have returned. Okay. So, I have no idea. Hey, Mr. Human Limits. How's it going, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so somehow when a character dies and add character to revive slot is called, it doesn't find any available slots. So debug.log room slot dot is empty is so I guess it's that because this is what moves the character to the right place. Otherwise this happens, which is technically not correct. Yeah. No, this doesn't work out. Oh, that's fantastic, man. Yeah, I still don't have a proper way of debugging anything, and it shows. I still do debug.log, so basically print debugging, printf debugging. So I think this is the other problem. It changes the slot to default, but I don't think that's the correct way. I think it should change. I think that's why I wrote a function specifically for this, and I just didn't use it. Add character to default slots for all time blocks. Where did I do this? Okay, so I did it here. I should do it over here as well, potentially. So yeah, we can change the current slot, but it's very important that we do a proper adding them to the lists, right? Otherwise it doesn't work. Otherwise the character just kind of goes away. You can never select them again. That could be an issue. Okay, and the other issue is just when I did this, it doesn't find an empty room, which is very strange. Because if a character... We do remove character, right? And remove character says makes is empty true. So it doesn't make any sense that it wouldn't be true. Okay, so let's try. Okay, just with those changes, gonna have to kill a character. See if the next character can go and revive. You have a bug that makes the character jitter. It's one of those. It's not actually a bug. It's a feature. It's a. I've had things like that as well, where the behavior or Unity and your debugger believes that behavior is intended because that's the way you coded it. So it doesn't. It is a bug when you look at it. You can see this is not right, but it doesn't cause an error or a warning or anything like that. So Unity just assumes that that is exactly what you wanted it to do. So it doesn't flag it or anything like that. Yeah, that kind of thing is annoying. It's like, oh, my character's flying. Why is that? Well, who knows? You probably coded him to fly somewhere. And you now need to go and figure it out. It's a very annoying one. It's a 2D game, hey? Or 3D? So, but if things that move don't move the way you expect, some of the things you could try is going into your rigid body and just putting on these constraints like freeze, position, rotation, and stuff like that. Just try that and see what happens, because you might not want this, but you can see I freeze all my characters. And the reason I freeze my characters is because I don't actually want Unity's physics to take control of what the character is doing, because what's going to happen is my script that I wrote to control the character's behavior and movement and stuff will fight the rigid body component that Unity implemented. Right, so now you have a rigid body and your script, and they're like, ah. Like, I want to move this way. No, you want to move this way. And then they kind of, they toss back and forth, and that could cause something like a jitter. So try that. Go see what your rigid body does, if you have a rigid body attached. Because you can see I basically freeze everything in my rigid body except for the Y movement. So when it moves up a hill or something, the character will go up and down. But that's it. I don't want anything else except for your input to affect movement. Okay. Let's try... damn it, I didn't want to do that. Restart. Wait, does the restart? No, it does work. It's just slow. Damn. Didn't realize my game was that slow. Okay, anyway. Let's go unlock a couple of rooms. Close the shop. Okay, you guys go there. You can go there. You can go there. Next. Go sit there on a chair. Next. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, I have a Discord. It's linked on Twitch. Not sure. I can put a link to that in YouTube, right? Okay, so it got a character and it checked there was an empty bed, and the character is now in the empty bed. Fantastic. Okay, so let's just go play with. Okay, I shouldn't die now because I want the character to move out of the bed first before I die. Okay. Okay, so she got kicked from the bed because she got revived. Okay. So somehow clicking on this is giving me an error still, so there's a problem there. Kind of annoying. You know what, let's just go and die with this bird. I want to see if he gets placed into a bed. So this is character 4, right? So okay, it doesn't, because it's false. It doesn't actually know. Okay, that's what I kind of thought. You can have the link, yes. Let me see if I can find it. Where be the link? You can find these links in Discord, right? I think so. You know what? Let me just go to my own Twitch. And then I can just... go to my channel. Get the link there. Let's see. I think that works. Can try that out. Okay. Let us continue. Okay, so now there's a couple of problems. So first of all, this character is not clickable because she kind of got kicked and now she's in purgatory because nobody knows where she is. And this character... Oh, this character is also not clickable. So that... Okay, so we have two problems. It seems. Okay, so we can't select these two characters anymore. These ones we can still. These two are now not available anywhere. Okay. I thought I fixed that, but anyway, apparently I did not. Okay. The other problem is... Okay, so this obviously goes into select character, but it gets the character from the slot, right? So it kind of asks the slot. So we go over here and we see it's not a revive station slot, so we kind of try something different. It's kind of weird that why would I... Okay, let me just see this. So if I click here... Okay, let's just clear. If I click this, it also gives me this error. So it still tries to click on the slot. So let's see how that would work. So it says... Oh, okay. Selected character is equal to null. First of all, that's fine. So that does happen, and that's okay. Then it goes to slot. No problem, man. It's a pleasure. So it calls selected character. I guess from here, because maybe it doesn't know that it's a revive station. That doesn't make any sense. It should know that I clicked on the revive station. Then it should go through the character list, find a character. Oh, it never finds a character. Ah, okay. So we got a couple of... We figured it out. Okay. Okay, let's just... Okay, so first of all, this return... This should happen if we click on the... So whenever we click on a revive station... Oh, geez, I accidentally... We should return regardless, right? Because you clicked on the revive station. So that should just break. That's fine. It should just be like, go. I mean, there's either something there or there isn't, and it doesn't matter. Okay, you clicked on the revive station. Yeah, and I think that's what kind of happened. We click on a revive station, and then it's like, oh, okay, cool, we're not there. Let's go to the selected character, get the character from time block slot. So if we go to the time block thing, it returns a character. So it goes through all the slots for the current viewed block. If it finds something, it does something, it returns a character, otherwise it returns null. And then we have a problem, right? Now, why does it return null though? Why wouldn't the character be in the slot? That's the question. So it should find this, and then it returns null. Okay, so we can do a debug.log found the slot. Okay, found the slot. But then the character in the slot is not there. So why would that be the case? So let's think about that. So when we do a add character to default slot for all time blocks and we give it a character, what do? We go through each time block. Then we say if the character is dead, return. Whoops daisies. Okay, we figured it out. So the dead characters go into nothingness. Okay. That's why we lose them, because it fails in two places. It fails right here where we do an add character, because we checked this and we couldn't find a room that is empty. Which didn't really make a lot of sense, because when we move them, we do take the slot, which is a room slot, and we do call remove character. Right? And the character should be alive at that point. We grab the slot, and this is one of the room slots, and we do slot.remove character. And once you do that, the character is not dead anymore. We kick it out. Why the hell is this not working? When is remove? Okay, so this works. Oh, wait a minute. It's a room slot. This is referenced from the hospital. What am I doing? Debug.log character removed, right? So in a slot, so this let's see, is empty, should have a get set. Could we do a private set? Would that work for us? I think it should, because normally so the room slot and the slot can set it. Okay, this is the revive station, so that will fail now. So we can go back and fix that. That is just checking it, right? So these two will fail. So we could just do remove character instead to set it. Right, we could just do that. To make it true initially. So we call remove character, then that sets it to true. And then every time we do that, it should work out. So slot 2, remove character. Okay, let's see. Let us see. Wait, do we already have a error? No, it's fine. Okay, wait, so... I didn't save this. Damn it, man. Now it needs to recompile. Alright, let's try again. Okay, let's unlock a couple of things like we always do. Just so that we can actually have a place to put all the characters. You can go there. Okay. That goes sit on a chair. And there we go. Okay, so let's see. Start. Now, okay. Found the slot. Found the slot. I guess. I can't remember where found the slot is coming from. Okay, so it says it returns true, right? So this is right here. The room is empty, true. So it found one, and we added the character to the room. That's perfect, so we can see it worked. Now, we select the next character. I don't necessarily want to die right now, so let's just run away. I want to see if that character gets removed. So there should be another print over here that tells us something like that, right? Nothing. Oh, wait. No. True. Move to default slot, etc., etc. So, okay. Okay, that's at least a start. So this character is clickable, at least. That is something. Oh, no. He was always clickable. He hasn't died yet. Okay, so you found the slot, but not the character. Okay, let's see. Found the slot. I print that over here. So I found the slot. Okay, that means the character that gets returned is null. Interesting. So it actually does return the slot character. So it found the slot, it returns the slot character. So it's not that other null. It's just that there isn't a character there, according to it, at least. So that means kicking the character after respawning doesn't work. Right, so this code over here is not working. Also, so could it be that the character was moved before? Like prematurely? So none of this happened, because if remove character happened, right, for the room. What? Oh, damn. Okay, we have a couple of problems here. Okay, so this cannot be private. Whoopsie daisies. Okay, so this never happened because we had errors. Ah, come on, man. Okay, so I never got this call. Even though it should have been called here 2 times with the connecting the elements, because that works. And then it's possible that the current slot of the character is changed. I mean, so we do this. Do we still have a function somewhere that does this, but I'm just completely unaware? So removing the character from the next level slot, that's not a problem. That happens. Actually, yeah, moving the character is not the problem. It's moving the character back. That's the problem. So this thing... Did it not, was it not able to do this? Add character to default slot for all time blocks. Is this thing not working? So the character should not be dead at that moment. It's not actually this one, it's this one. So at this point, the character is alive. Here, the character is dead. So I can understand why that doesn't work. But this over here, the character should be alive. Right? Move character. So we look at the character. If the character is not dead, do this. Remove character. Oh, wait a minute. Am I dumb? I might be dumb. So let's think about what this does. So it goes through all the characters, tries to remove them. If it can't, it tries this again, and it finds a dead character, tries to add the character to a slot. Hey, cheers, Miss Human Limits. Have a good evening. Tries to remove the character from the slot, so it does this anyway. And it finds the dead character, because this failed. Then it finds the dead character again, tries this again, and then it's like, oh, wait, there's no empty rooms, and then it takes the character and moves it, but this fails. What that means is the bird got moved when it was still dead. Well, that's a conundrum. Okay. So, crying out loud. So if you find a dead character. Okay. I think I see what I did wrong. I think. Okay, so let's think about this again. So, moving a character. So we go through each character. Should we do this on a character by character basis? And not do this? So we try to empty the slots, and then we try to put the characters back. Now we find dead characters, but we should also check if that character isn't already in a slot. Okay. So we can go through that. So let's think about that. So we put a guard clause maybe. Something like for each. So we go, we grab a character. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We grab a character, then we go through all the rooms. If the character current slot is equal to any of the room slots, right? So if we find that the character is in fact already in a room, what do? Do we just break? Or do we return? I think we just break. Okay, but this would only break us from the room slots. So technically that's not correct. So we should have maybe a Boolean character already in room, and we make that false. Okay, and then if we find this, we do character already in room equals true. Okay, and then we can do a guard clause. So we, if character already in room, then we just continue. And we can break here, saving us a little bit. Okay, and continuing there would just go to the next character. Okay, so essentially we do a lot of a guard there. So we go through this and we see, oh wait, all our characters are kind of dead still. So we don't remove them. Okay, that's fine. So we went through this and all the characters that are in the room are kind of dead. Then we go through here and we just check all the characters again. If we find a character that's already in this room, we don't care about that character. We skip that character. We check the other characters. And if any of them are not in this room, but they are dead, then we try to add those characters to the revive slot. And coming here, this is what's going to happen. Now, this is where it gets complicated. Because add character to default slot for all time blocks is something we want to do, right, with the dead character. So I think we need to remove this. So now it'll go and if I want to add a character to default time blocks, I can. But at the end of each wave or each level, I still try. So even if that character is in the default block, I can still move them with this function, right? Because I can check if there's an empty room. Just need to make sure. Yeah, because I kind of skipped this and then I moved them and then it never triggered the empty room. Okay, but if there's an empty room, then I can change and I can move the character. Now, the other thing would be is there is already a way to protect against selecting a dead character. So selecting a dead character should happen over here. So if we click on a slot, let's say we don't have a character selected. So if we click on the revive station, okay, so if we click on the revive station without a character, we can select the character. Otherwise, we have to go get the character from just normally get the character, right? So you select the character in that way. Now, once we've selected a character, okay, so we grab a character. We can still grab characters, but when you try and put them down and they are dead, it says, yo, don't move dead people around. Finally, I think this is gonna work. I was just being a bit dumb. Okay, so I don't think there are any. Those are still errors from previously. Oh, please work. Then I can move on to an even more complicated system. Character removed. Okay, fantastic. Those things are working. Okay, let's unlock one of those and unlock a couple of other places for me to put the people. Okay, close the shop. But you're gonna go there. Actually, I didn't set time block 1 yet, so next. Okay, there we go. Sorry, so this works out. Start level. So we go and we die, right? Oh no! Oh, backflip. Yeah, because what was happening? So we can click on the ranger. Open the character data. Okay, our health's going down. We died. And this is where it got funny. Because, okay, we can select that character. And I think he should be out of any... Yeah, so he's removed from all the rest of the time blocks, right? That's good. Now we should... There's one more update we should do, but that's fine. So we grab that guy and we put him into time block. So we fight. And I think this is what I missed. I didn't realize that my bird didn't actually respawn yet, but she was removed because I never checked. You can see the respawn time is counting down, but she still has 15 seconds left. And normally it would have kicked her, which is wrong. Okay, so let's just... you need to go to next block. You two can do other things. You need to stay there and revive yourself. Okay, so let's see what happens now. So she's going to get revived. And then she's going to stay in the bed and get healed. Right, by quite a high rate. So she's alive now. Okay, so that means this guy I can make him take her place. So he dies. Okay, this is interesting. So he's dead, right? And I can't do anything with him. So he's just dead. He's waiting for his spot. Let's see if this works. So I can take someone else, so the chicken, and he can go take her place. So he's technically dead, waiting for his spot. She's alive, but still recovering, right? So you could only get... you can only get your spot, so we can't move anything now. This is just grabbing a new character to go fight. Okay. Okay, so we can fight. No problems. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so she got removed and he didn't get into this yet. Okay, so why is that? So that... Did I make it so that only when I start the next level will he get moved? I don't remember. Might have. So let's just go see. Because kicking her out... Okay, wait. There's also... I just want to see... Found the slot, etc. Did it say... I don't see if it said remove character. So, okay. So let's just go back to our respawn station. Moved hospitalized characters. So obviously, I suspect this is what it did. But it's entirely possible. The character is not dead. Okay, so let's go. So let's say this happened, right? So then it is like, oh, level prep. Okay, cool. Go through all the characters. Get the character that's in the slot. Say, oh, yo, this character is not dead at the moment. So we can add the character to the default slots. Okay. And then slot.remove character. There we go in here. I mean, like, okay. Character's already in room is false. For each room slot, for each character and each room slot, right? So we go through all the slots for each character. Okay. I mean, like, okay, cool. Both slots are empty, but the character is not dead, so it's fine. So this didn't happen, and it should have happened. This was never called. So okay, let's just make sure. So for each slot, if the current character that we have has the slot Does this not change the character slot? It is possible that it doesn't. It does not. So what I want to do is I want to do character dot current slot equals character dot default slot. So if you call this, we actually change the slot to the default slot, which didn't happen. Now, what I think is going to happen is it's gonna update on the next level. So when we start the next level, but and it will move the duck. I think it would have, but that's not what I want. I want the duck to be moved quicker. Okay, so let's try again. We're gonna give it a bit more juice. So I'm just gonna level up the room a little bit. And that way we should be able to have the Robin respawn in the first round. So with a max level room, it should be possible for her to respawn immediately. So let's just unlock a couple of other things. Okay, close the shop. Alright, you're gonna go there, you go there, you go there, you go there. Next, you go there, you go there, you go there. And then we just put everybody in the gym again. And we start the level. Okay. So she should be able to die and respawn pretty quickly now. Let's just click on her so we can monitor her vitals. Okay, she died. She's in the thing. Now, I think this thing should be able to revive her in 10 seconds. So she's going to be able to revive, respawn, and do all that good stuff. So I'm going to try and let him die as well. So let's see if we can get that going. So she's not alive yet, very close. So he's dead now. So if I do anything with him, it's like, don't handle a dead character. Obviously, I can make this be a pop-up or something so that you can actually see. You know what? I'm going to take the chicken instead. Oh, apparently I didn't take the chicken. Okay, so there's a bit of a bug. Okay, but okay, so my Robin was respawned. Okay, Robin got respawned, got some health. Duck didn't get respawned. Okay. So right at respawn, it did find true. Okay, false. So it did find an empty. That's weird. It found an empty slot, right? Yeah. So it found one. Oh, wait. I see. It found the one that is... Okay, let's see if we start the next level. If he goes into... So we can just do something like this. Next time block. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see if he goes into revival. So we can just get the ninja. Okay, start level. No, because that's not when it's supposed to happen. Okay. So I guess the problem is that false, right? So that was the first room. So it still is empty as false. Why would that be? I mean, we went through this, so we tried to add him. So this worked, and we did try to add him this time. But this didn't. Remove character from respawn station. After level end. Okay, so let's see. So the level ends. We do this. We go through. We find the current slot. did we do anything else with the character? So the current slot should still be what it is. This should be called, right? Because we find the current slot. We see, okay, wait, the bird is in fact in here. And then we see that she's not dead anymore. That means she must go. But she doesn't. Well, she does, but it's not through this, right? It might be... It might actually be through here. Right? So maybe it goes into this. So it didn't remove. Didn't find the slot either. This is so frustrating. Okay, let's log the character dot current slot. I guess I don't know. I'm getting too many debugs. That's my one problem. Okay, let's do another debug over here so I can see. Okay, this is the move. Start. This is the start of move character after level end. Debug.log. These are getting ridiculous. And then here's when the function ends. This is the end. Start. Let's put a bunch of forward slashes there so I can clearly see this. Okay, I want to know exactly what happens here. Now, probably I should be using a debugger, but I'm too dumb. So we're going to do it this way. Cut me some slack. It's hard. I probably need to go sit and flip and study to figure out how to do a debug. Proper debugging. Watch a video. Maybe even change my editor, my code editor. Go get JetBrains Rider or whatever. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're going to upgrade that one again to full and just unlock all the other basic ones. Okay. No, we want you to go fight. You. Okay, let's just get them in there. Yeah, I really want to change this UI, but not today, I guess, because, yeah. Okay, I got mauled and I died. Okay, so it found one and I'm in there now. The character 3 got placed in there. Okay, so that's the ranger. Now we should be able to revive ourselves before the end of the level. Alright, so we can see that happening. Okay. Oh no, he died. He died. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's take... Okay, start. Okay, we don't want this oak to die. Just wanna... Okay, so she got respawned and she's healing now. Okay, I think if I click next, it starts happening. Okay. So it didn't work again. So this is the start. Okay, none of those mean anything, so this is still false. Okay, but this is a start. Okay, so we started with that function. So it seems to me that we started, we never got here. We never got there. That is so frustrating. Oh, why did you not get there? So we went through each room and we did get the current slots, right? That happened. So let's see. Yeah, we got both the slots. Right. Oh no, we printed the current slot for each character. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the first character 1, which was the knight, was in the next level slot. That makes sense. All the other ones were in their character icon holders. Is including character number 3. So something moved my character from the revive station into the default slot. Something else did that. You know what it was? It was a stupid initialize function. I believe I know what it was. Inner time blocks. Let's see what this thing does. For each block, new block. So this happens first. So it goes through all the slot characters in time block dictionary, changes the slots to the default, and it uses that for each character. So it goes through all the characters. And they're not dead. So this is in fact not what I should be checking. I should be checking if character.current slot equals waiting room dot fixed room type dot revive station. Dot room type. If that character is in the revive station, you just continue to the next one. Skip it. Don't move him. Because we moved him here. And then it doesn't know. We don't want to move characters from the revive station. We could also... And this works if they are still dead, right? If they are still dead, they stay there. But it actually shouldn't be that way. So we could also... We potentially could have fixed this by just changing the... yeah, we could have... Okay, wait. Let's just go check here something. So when we show this, we could have done this by just doing it in a different order. Okay, let's see if we can just change that around, because I think that's what's happening. It's first moving them. So what I want to do is I want to go to level prep and do... First, let the hospital decide what to do. And then after that, we can reinitialize the time block. But we should first let the hospital move them around. So then the dead character will get placed in the bed. The other guys will get thrown out of the bed. And then we can reshuffle everything with the initialized time blocks. Such a flippin' clown show. Yes. I cannot even. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so we need to unlock stuff again. Let's upgrade that to level 3. Okay, and then there. I really want to change the way this time block UI works, but, you know, for a different day, I guess, because I thought I was going to do it today, but, you know, here we are. Quickly die. Okay, she's dead. She's there. We take the duck, and we go die again. Okay, fantastic. Now, I can't do anything with the duck. It'll tell me. Let the EMT handle it. Okay, let's take the chicken. Okay, I'm not going to let the chicken die. I wonder if they could even... Nah, they could kill him. They do a lot of damage very quickly. Okay. So, next... Okay, so let's see what happened here. Okay, so this bird is alive. This bird is broken. That's also a little bit different. Okay, so let's see what happened. Okay. Start move character. So we do... We still don't get there. What the hell? How? So, I don't understand. Yeah, the current slot's already changed. By what? How is the current slot changed? Or was the current slot never set correctly? I don't understand this. Okay, so no, but we do use current slot. We do use change current slot. Okay, so let's do a debug.log, and here's the thing. So we do character. Okay, we're gonna do character. Wait. Character ID, yes, character ID plus. So this guy. Plus the new slot. Okay. Plus new slot. Could we get something from the slot that might be more descriptive? Let's say room type dot toString. More descriptive, right? So now we're changing the slots like that. So let's see when exactly this changes. So the character ID, so for the Robin is 3, obviously. Well, she is the third character. Right, so let's go see what's happening. When are the slots changing? It might also be that there is a... I'm changing it sub... I don't know. It shouldn't be changing. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's failing that one check where we have to check if the character is already in the bed when we want to move them, right? Okay. So unlocking again. Should just make these things being unlocked. Okay, so this start. Okay, so all of those just return null, I guess, for some reason. Okay. Okay, slot level up quick. Let's clear that. Let's upgrade this one to the max again. Okay, so we move the characters around. That doesn't change anything. What is this one doing? Where is this? Okay, this is time block slots. Okay, so that doesn't matter. Okay, you just move them around a little bit. Next. Start. Okay, we have character 1 jump. So character 3 went to next level. The rest went to Gym 1, 2, and 4. Okay, now they went to the observation deck and the gym. Oh, I need to die. Damn it. Character 3 revive station. That's right. Now I'm going to have to play this out a little bit longer. I don't think I can die in time. No, I can. She won't be revived in time, though. She's still dead. Yeah. Okay, but he's dead and she's dead. Okay, so let's just get the chicken to finish off. Okay, he did it. Next. Okay, we can't move him around because he's dead. Or something like that. Found the slot. Got the... Okay, so there's another problem now. It seems like I'm just causing more issues than I'm solving. Okay, let's just get through this level as quickly as possible. I don't know what the hell's happening anymore. Because I feel like I'm just causing more pain for myself at the moment. Okay, so my Robin should 100%. Okay, so here we see character 3 was moved to default. Oh, I know what's doing that. Oh my word. Oh my word. That is my update function. This bastard. Oh my word. Okay, where is this happening? Let's go see. So update, so it moves characters. I completely forgot that this is another thing that can move the characters. For crying out loud. So it goes through all the characters. So if we are less than the block amount, that's fine, because that just means it's the normal block movement, right? Then right here, when we are at the end, we go through all the characters and we say if the character is dead or the character character dot current slot equals waiting room dot room fixed room type dot revive station. Okay, wait. Dot room type. If the character is dead or is in the revive station, don't move it. The revive station will do that itself. I completely forgot that was a thing that happened. Oh, this is wonderful. Okay, so this could work. Now, there was another problem with the clicking. This might have been because of something else that broke. So when we clicked on a slot, it went... Okay, so let's see. It tried to select a character when in here. So if we clicked on this, okay, we didn't. So it got this. The character should have been in its default slot, which is weird. And then when you try and move it, it should give it an error, but this shouldn't have given an error. So somehow the duck wasn't in his default slot. Okay, let's go again. And I believe this time nothing should break. And then I'm somehow gonna end the stream because yes, this flippin' UI is... I'm sick of it. Gonna end the stream, go play flippin', I don't know, some other game. Just so I can cleanse my brain. Okay, unlock this to max level. Okay, we're just gonna quickly go die. Okay, we did. We got put into the revive station. Fantastic. We take the duck. Obviously quite bad at the game. The duck dies. So he was put into his default. Okay. So that happened right here. Whether or not he... Yeah, okay. So that at least happened, but we don't know who put him there. Well, we could check, right? We can go here and we can see, we can make sure that any default call also does okay. We'll figure that out later. Okay, but anyway, so he's dead. If I click on him and I try to do anything, slot clicked with no character selected. Oh, okay. Let's take the chicken out and go beat everybody up. I just want to check the ranger. He will be able to respawn, yes. Okay, that's good. Okay, so she respawned and she's healing. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. So the starter character move, so we got the slots. Remove character from respawn. Character removed. Fantastic. And then character 4 was put into the revive station. Perfect. Okay, and we can click on him, and they're like, cool, you clicked on him. Don't move a dead character, please. Fantastic. We did it, guys. We did it. We've done it. It has been done. Now I can go remove all those debug statements. Okay. I'm going to call it right there because I'm fed up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming with me on the pain train, which is UI. I actually have I had that other idea earlier in the stream, which I think is going to be even more painful. So I need my rest. I need to recover. I need to strengthen my myself. I don't know. So I can go back and play with that part of the UI. And after that, like if I can just get this to feel nice, I'm never going to come back to UI again. Now, I probably will, but hopefully it's not going to be this bad every time. Anyway, guys, have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.